The lab door hissed shut behind me, sealing us in a tomb of flickering screens and humming servers. The only light, a cold blue pulse from the monitors that painted our faces like ghosts. I grabbed Alex's collar, pulling him close in the shadows where no one could see, my heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape the truth I already half knew. Our lips crashed together, desperate and hungry, but as his tongue met mine, a bitter tang exploded: cigarette smoke and cheap whiskey. The unmistakable mark of Ryan. My rival. My nightmare. Smeared across the mouth of the man I'd worshipped for years. I shoved him back, the taste lingering like poison. My vision blurring with hot tears that I blinked away because crying wasn't allowed in places like this. Not in the sterile heart of MIT's bioengineering wing, where dreams were forged in code and cells. Alex stumbled against a workbench, knocking over a vial that shattered like my illusions. The sharp scent of ethanol cutting through the air. "Joseph." "Wait," he started, his voice that smooth baritone I'd replayed in my head 1,000 nights. But it cracked now, laced with something ugly, something defensive. I couldn't wait. Not anymore. My fists clenched at my sides, nails digging into palms until I felt the sting, grounding me in the rage boiling up from my gut. "How long?" I demanded, my voice low and raw, echoing off the reinforced glass walls that separated us from the empty corridors of Building 68. Alex's eyes darted to the floor, to the spill of liquid pooling like blood. Anywhere but me. 22 years old, fresh out of undergrad with a scholarship that felt like a curse. And here I was, unraveling in the place I'd sworn would make me whole. He straightened, running a hand through his dark hair. The same gesture that had first hooked me during orientation last fall, confident, almost arrogant, like he owned the future. "It's not what you think," he said, but the words were hollow, rehearsed. I laughed, a bitter bark that surprised even me. Because what else was there? Admiration had twisted into this. A knife in my chest twisted by the one who'd handed it to me. We'd met in the chaos of new grad student mixers. Me wide-eyed and fumbling with my ID badge. Him already a rising star in the neural interface lab. 25 and publishing papers that made professors whisper. Alex had clapped me on the shoulder that night, his touch electric through my thin shirt, and said, "Joseph, right. I've read your thesis on synaptic mapping. Sharp stuff. Stick with me, you'll go far." I'd floated home to my cramped Cambridge apartment, replaying it, imagining more than mentorship, more than late-night debugging sessions where his knee brushed mine under the table. But Ryan was always there, lurking like a storm cloud. 24, blonde and built like he spent more time in the gym than the library. He was the golden boy of the rival AI ethics track, always one-upping me in seminars with smirks that said he knew exactly how to unravel me. We'd clashed from day one, him accusing my work of being reckless idealism, me firing back that his was corporate bootlicking. He hated me for my ideas, for the way Alex lit up when I presented, and I hated him for the way he stared at Alex like he was a prize to be claimed. Now, in the dim glow, Alex stepped closer, his hand reaching for my arm. But I jerked away. "Tell me the truth," I whispered, my throat tight. The lab felt smaller, the air thicker, machines whirring like judgmental spectators. He sighed, leaning against the server rack, the hum vibrating through his back. "It started as nothing. A drink after that conference in DC last month. Ryan was there, pushing boundaries like always. And I don't know, Joseph. It just happened. Happened. Like a glitch in the code. Easy to patch. But this wasn't code. This was Ustalin glances in the hallway, his fingers lingering on mine during handoffs of petri dishes. The way he'd text me at 2 a.m. about a breakthrough, knowing I was the only one who'd get it. I'd confessed over coffee one rainy afternoon in Harvard Square. Heart pounding as I said, "Alex, it's more than admiration for me." He'd smiled that half smile, squeezed my hand, and murmured, "I feel it too. Lies. All of it. Tainted by Ryan's shadow." I turned away, staring at the culture arrays glowing under UV light. Rows of cells dividing blindly, unaware of the betrayals in their world. "Why him?" I asked, hating how small I sounded. Alex moved behind me, his breath warm on my neck. "He's not you. No one is. But Ryan. He sees the ambition in me. The parts one hide. You see the idealist. Joseph. It's flattering. But exhausting. Exhausting." The word hit like a slap. I'd poured everything into this night's blurring into days. Caffeine and code my only companions. All to prove I belonged here. To earn his gaze without the pity. Being gay in this pressure cooker was hard enough. Whispers in the men's room. Sideways looks from straight allies who patted your back like you were fragile. But with Alex, I'd felt seen. Desired even. In a place where vulnerability could tank your funding. "Get out," I said finally. My voice steady now. Forged in the fire of that kiss. He hesitated. Then nodded, grabbing his coat from the hook. The door hissed open, letting in a sliver of fluorescent hall light. And he was gone, leaving me with the shards on the floor and the echo of his footsteps fading down the stairwell. I sank to my knees, glass crunching under my jeans, and let the sobs come ugly, wrenching things that shook my whole body. 22 felt ancient in that moment. Every insecurity laid bare. The kid from rural Ohio who'd fled Bible Belt sermons about hellfire. The one who'd coded his first app to map safe, queer spaces in Boston. This lab was my sanctuary, and now it reeked of deceit. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time dissolved in the dark. My phone buzzed a group chat ping from the lab mates. Oblivious, late-night crew. Pizza in the lounge. I ignored it, wiping my face on my sleeve, the fabric rough against swollen eyes. Standing, I swept the glass into a dustpan, each shard a fragment of what I'd built in my head. Tomorrow, I'd face them, Ryan with his smug grin, Alex with averted eyes, but tonight, I was done pretending. As dawn crept through the blinds, painting the room in pale gray, I booted up my terminal, fingers flying over keys. Not work. Not yet. A search, betrayal in queer relationships. Forums lit up, Reddit threads. Anonymous confessions of love tangled with lies. "It breaks you," one wrote, "but it rebuilds you stronger." I closed the tab, heart still aching, but a spark ignited. This wasn't the end. It was the fracture line where light got in. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as I shuffled into the morning seminar, my eyes gritty from lack of sleep. The ghost of that kiss still sour on my tongue. Alex was already there, front row, scribbling notes with feigned focus. But I caught the flicker when I entered guilt. Or was it relief? Ryan lounged 2 seats over, legs sprawled, shooting me a wink that twisted my stomach. Bastard. I slid into the back, notebook open but mind elsewhere, replaying the lab's shadows like a bad loop. Dr. Harlan droned on about neural ethics, slides clicking through projections of brain scans that looked like Rorschach tests for the soul. "Integration isn't just technical," he said, voice gravelly from too many cigarettes. "It's moral. Who controls the mind?" Irony hung thick. If only he knew the real puppet strings in this room. My pen scratched absent patterns, doodles of circuits morphing into broken hearts. Until Alex's hand shot up, his question sharp and insightful as always. Heads turned, nods of approval, and I hated how it still stirred something in me pride. Damn it, mixed with the fresh wound. Break came. Students milling like electrons in a superconductor. I headed for the coffee cart in the atrium. The scent of burnt beans a small mercy against the nausea churning inside. That's when Ryan cornered me, blocking the dispenser with his broad frame. Steam rising from his mug like a threat. Rough night. Joey. He drawled. That Ohio twang mocking mine. Though he'd scrubbed his clean for the ivy sheen. You look like you saw a ghost. Or tasted one. My blood iced. How did he know? Paranoia spiked at Alex, spilled already. Turning our secret into their inside joke. I gripped the cart's edge. Knuckles white. What do you want? Ryan. He leaned in. Close enough I caught the whiskey whiff faint on his breath. Even at 10 a.m. Just checking on our star pupil. Heard you and Alex had a breakthrough last night. His lips curled, eyes gleaming with the thrill of the hunt. I shoved past him, hot coffee sloshing over my hand. The burn a welcome distraction. Stay out of my way, I muttered, storming toward the glass doors overlooking the Charles River, where autumn leaves swirled in eddies like my thoughts. Why him? Ryan, with his easy charm that masked the venom. The one who'd sabotaged my prototype last semester by accidentally overwriting files. I'd rebuilt it in secret, earning Alex's praise. But now it all felt tainted, like every victory was borrowed from their bed. Outside, the crisp October air slapped sense into me. I paced the quad. Fallen crimson, leaves crunching underfoot. Students laughing in clusters, straight couples hand in hand. Queer kids stealing glances like we were all in on some cosmic joke. My phone vibrated, a text from my roommate. Theo. The one straight ally who didn't tiptoe. Dude. You ghosted pizza. Everything okay? Theo knew about Alex. Had high-fived me after the confession. Oblivious to the fallout. I typed back, need to talk. Tonight. Class resumed. But I barely registered. Mind dissecting the kiss frame by frame. Alex's hesitation. The way his body tensed not in passion but calculation. Had it been pity all along? The idealist too fragile to break outright. By dismissal. My head throbbed. And I bolted for the lab, needing the familiar hum to drown the noise. The space felt violated now. Every corner whispering of bodies pressed in haste. I powered on my station, diving into data logs from our joint projecta neural bridge for paralysis patients. Dreams of mobility wrapped in code. Our names were linked on the grant, Joseph Hale and Alex Rivera. Partners. The word soured. A knock soft. Tentative. Alex. Coat slung over arm. Expression schooled to neutral. Can we talk? I didn't look up. Fingers clacking. Data's due Friday. Focus on that. He sighed, dropping into the stool across. Our knees inches apart. The proximity a torture. Joseph. Please. It was a mistake. Ryan means nothing. Nothing. Yet enough to etch his flavor on Alex's skin. I met his gaze then. Green eyes pleading. And felt the pull, the same magnetic draw that had me skipping family calls back home. Chasing this instead. Tell me about him. I said. Voice even. What does he see that I don't? Alex blinked. Caught off guard. He rubbed his jaw. Stubble rasping. Ryan's. Intense. He pushes me. Challenges the safe paths. You read the heart of it. Joseph. The why. Flattery. Or truth. I wanted to believe. To lean across and erase Ryan with my own claim. But pride held me back. A fragile shield. We worked in silence after that. The air thick with unspoken barbs. His code synced with mine seamlessly. A dance we'd perfected over months. And it hurt how natural it still felt. By evening, progress hummed, simulations running green. A small win amid the wreckage. As he packed up, Alex paused at the door. Dinner. My place. No strings. Temptation clawed. But I shook my head. Not yet. Alone again. I lingered, staring at the screen's glow. A notification pinged, an email from the department head. CCNG Ryan on our prelim results. Impressive collaboration. It read. Collaboration. I forwarded it to Theo with a note. Betrayal level, expert. Theo's apartment in Somerville was a mess of takeout boxes and half-read philosophy tomes. The kind of chaos that felt like home after the lab's precision. He answered the door in sweats, concern etching his freckled face. Joe. Man. You look wrecked. We crashed on the couch. Beers cracked. The Red Sox game murmuring on TV like white noise. I spilled it all, the kiss. The taste. The hollow excuses. Theo listened, nodding. No judgment in his brown eyes. That sucks, bro. But Alex. He's always been a climber. Remember that party last spring? He ditched us for the donors. I did. The sting fresh. Theo was the one who'd pulled me out. Dragged me to a dive bar where queer flags flew proud. Teaching me to breathe easy in my skin. But why Ryan? Theo mused, swigging his beer. Guy's a tool. Probably jealous of you. Hits on Alex to mess with your head. The thought landed. A puzzle piece clicking. Ryan's winks. The sabotage was at all theater. Aimed at me through Alex. Paranoia or pattern. We pivoted to lighter ground. Theo sharing his latest Tinder flop. Laughter easing the knot in my chest. By midnight, buzzed and spent, I crashed on his spare futon. Dreams fractured with lab lights and lips that lied. Morning brought resolve. Crisp as the frost on the T platform. I rode inbound. Charles/MGH station, a blur of commuters. Vowing no more hiding. At the lab, Ryan was there early. Hunched over a terminal. But I strode in bold. Dropping my bag with a thud. Morning, I said. Casual steel in my tone. He glanced up. Smirk faltering at my steady stare. Joey. Sleep well. Like a baby. I lied. Settling in. Alex arrived late. Hair tousled. Coffee and hand-hour coffee ritual skipped. A small cut. The day dragged. Tensions simmering under collaborative pretense. Lunch in the cafe. I sat with Theo's advice echoing. Confront. Don't crumble. Spotting Ryan alone at a table. Scrolling his phone. I approached. We need to talk. He arched a brow. Gesturing to the seat. About. Up close. He was all sharp angles. Cologne sharp as his wit. Alex. Us. Whatever game this is. His laugh was low. Genuine surprise flickering. Game. Joseph. You're the one playing hero. Alex chose me because I don't pedestal him. You're too busy worshipping. Worshipping. The word stung true. But I held ground. And you? What's your angle hurt me because I beat you on the last sim? Ryan's eyes narrowed. Mask slipping. Beat me? Kid. I let you. Alex needed a win for his ego. But yeah, maybe I like watching you squirm. Pays to know your weaknesses. Weaknesses. Plural. My pulse raced. Pieces aligning, the files. The whispers. Now this. Stay away from him. And me. I stood. Chair scraping. Leaving him with his cooling soup. Victory tasted metallic. But it was mine. That night. Rain lashed the windows as I coded alone. Thunder rumbling like distant applause. Alex texted, miss working close. Tomorrow. I typed back, sure. But boundaries. A step. Not a leap. In the storm's howl. I felt the first thaw betrayal's ice cracking. Room for something real beneath. Progress on the neural bridge accelerated. Our trio locked in uneasy truce. The lab a pressure cooker of clicks and murmurs. Alex mediated, his presence a gravitational pull, drawing us into orbits we resented. Ryan's barbs sharpened in private, but publicly he shone, contributing fixes that elevated the model, earning Harlan's gruff praise. I hated admitting it, but his input mattered raw. Unpolished genius that clashed with my precision like flint on steel, sparking breakthroughs. One evening, as simulations churned through overnight runs, Alex suggested we celebrate early, beers at the Muddy Charles, the dive bar across from campus where grad students drowned deadlines in foam. Team building, he called it. Eyes on me. Hopeful. Ryan shrugged agreement. But I saw the calculation. The way he clapped Alex's back a beat too long. Against my gut, I went curiosity. Or masochism. The bar thrummed with Friday energy. Air thick with fry oil and laughter. Neon signs buzzing like faulty neurons. We claimed a corner booth. Wood scarred from countless confessions. Pitchers sweating on the table. Talk flowed easy at first Harlan's latest rant. The ethics board's nitpicks until beer loosened tongues. Ryan leaned in, voice slurring slightly. To Joseph, the dreamer who keeps us honest. His toast rang false. But I clinked glasses, the amber liquid burning down. Alex, flushed from his second pint, draped an arm over the booth, fingers brushing my shoulder accidental on purpose. You know, Joe's the real force here. Without his synaptic tweaks, we'd be dead in the water. Warmth spread. Treacherous. But Ryan's scoff cut it short. Yeah. And without my overrides, your tweaks would have fried the arrays. Team. Remember? Tension coiled. But Alex diffused with a story from his undergrad days at Stanford, a failed experiment that nearly torched the building. His dramatic reenactment drawing laughs from nearby tables. I watched him, mesmerized despite myself. The way his hands animated, eyes sparkling under the low lights. Ryan caught my stare. Something unreadable flashing jealousy. No. Triumph. Like he'd planted the seed and now watched it choke. As pitchers emptied, conversation veered personal. So, Joseph, Ryan drawled, elbow on table. Still single? Or got some secret bow coding in the shadows? The question landed like a probe. Casual but pointed. Alex stiffened beside me, but I met Ryan's gaze level. Single. Focused. You. He grinned. Wolfish. Oh. You know Mealway's juggling. Juggling. The word hung. And Alex shifted, signaling for the check. Outside, rain had stopped. Streets gleaming under street lamps. Air crisp with fallen leaves. We parted with awkward hugs, Ryan's firm on Alex. Mine a quick clasp that lingered. Walking home alone. The buzz faded to ache. Questions swirling. Was Ryan baiting exposure? Or warning me off? And Alex, did he regret the kiss? Or the company it kept? Sleep evaded. My mind replaying bar lights and half-truths. By dawn, resolve hardened, dig deeper. At the lab, while Alex stepped out for a call, I accessed the shared drive, nothing overt. Just logs of access times. Ryan's late-night entries synced with Alex's. Patterns too coincidental for coincidence. Heart pounding. I cross-reference conference schedules, DC. Yes. But also a Boston symposium last week. Hotel bookings overlapping. Confrontation brewed. But opportunity struck midweek. Harlan called a review meeting in his office. Bookshelves groaning under tomes. The room smelling of old paper and pipe tobacco. Progress is stellar. He boomed, eyeing us over bifocals. But rumors focus. Boys. No distractions. His glance lingered on me. Or was it Ryan? Paranoia again. Post-meeting. In the elevator's descent, Alex cornered me gently. Harlan's right. We've been off. Dinner. Just us. The offer dangled. Sweet poison. I nodded. Against better judgment clarity. I told myself. Not closure. His place was in Alston. A walk-up crammed with lab posters and half-dead plants. The scent of takeout lingering. We cooked pasta. Simple. His knife skills mesmerizing as he diced garlic. Over wine. Barriers crumbled. I'm sorry, he said, candlelight flickering on his face, softening the guilt lines. Ryan was. Escape. Pressure's insane. Joseph. The grant. The expectations. I reached for his hand. Pulse racing. And me. Am I pressure too? He squeezed back. Thumb tracing my knuckle. No. You're light. That's why it scares me. The kiss came slow. Deliberate, his lips on mine. Tasting only of Merlot and mint. Ryan's ghost banished. Heat built. Hands exploring. Shirts shed in the dim living room. His body was lean muscle over bone. Scars from childhood surgeries mapping his skin like code comments. We moved to the bedroom. Sheets cool against fevered skin. Whispers turning to gasps. For those hours, it was pure connection without the lab's weight. His touches affirming what words couldn't. Morning light filtered through blinds. His arm heavy across my waist. Regret. None. Only a fragile piece. But as he stirred, phone buzzing on the nightstand, I glimpsed the screen. Ryan. Last night was fun. Round 2. The world tilted. Betrayal's sequel sharper for the intermission. I slipped out before he woke. Dressing in silence. Hard to lead weight. Back in my apartment. Shower scalding. I scrubbed until skin pinked. But the filth was internal. How many times? The pattern as the interlude. Ryan the constant. Fury ignited. Propelling me to the lab early. Code flying in vengeful bursts. Theo met me for lunch at Clover. The food truck line snaking under October's sun. Again. He groaned over falafel. But his eyes held no surprise. Only solidarity. Dump the drama. Joe. You're better than this carousel. Better. The word echoed Harlan's warning. That afternoon, I pulled Alex aside in the stockroom. Shelves of reagents witnessing. Saw the text. Done. His face crumpled. Genuine this time. Joseph. It's not, it is. I cut in. Voice steel. Choose. Or lose both. He reached. But I backed away. Door clicking shut like finality. Days blurred into grind lab isolation my armor. Ryan's smirks ignored. Alex's glances pleading voids. Breakthrough hit Thursday. The bridge sim hit 92% efficacy. Harlan whooping in rare exuberance. Celebration loomed. Department party at the faculty club. Black tie optional, but egos mandatory. I arrived late. Suit ill-fitting from disuse. Scanning the chandelier-lit room for threats. Ryan held court by the bar. Charm dialed high. Alex orbiting close too close. Hands brushing. Jealousy flared. But Theo's voice in my head, better. I mingled instead. Chatting with underclassmen. They're all bomb. A junior. Micah. Lingered 19. Curly-haired with earnest questions on ethics. His laugh easy. Uncalculated. As night waned, Alex approached. Scotch in hand. Dance. The quartet played soft jazz. Couples swaying. Against sense. I took his hand. Bodies close on the floor. His breath ragged. I choose you. He whispered. Forehead to mine. Hope flickered. Treacherous. But Ryan watched from shadows. Phone in hand. Typing. My pocket buzzied a photo. Time-stamped, Alex and him. Entangled in the coat room minutes ago. The knife twisted anew. Rage propelled me from the dance floor. Suit jacket flapping like a cape in my fury's wind. The photo burning in my palm. I burst into the coat room. A dim alcove off the hall. Coats dangling like hanged secrets. There they were, Alex pinning Ryan against the wall. Lips locked in frantic need. Oblivious to intrusion. Enough. I roared. Voice cracking the air. They sprang apart. Alex's face draining color. Ryan straightening with lazy defiance. Joseph, Alex started. But I hurled the phone at his feet. Screen cracking like glass under heel. Save it. You're poison. Both of you. Ryan chuckled. Low and dark. Jealous much. Face it. You're the side quest. Side quest. The dismissal ignited something primal. I lunged. Fist connecting with his jaw in a crack that echoed. Pain exploding in my knuckles. He staggered. Blood welling on his lip. Shock widening his eyes. Alex grabbed my arms. Pulling me back. Stop. This isn't you. Isn't me. I wrenched free. Chest heaving. Who am I then? Alex. The fool who builds your dreams while you fuck the saboteur. Words spewed. Venom I'd bottled too long. Guests peeked in. Murmurs rippling like aftershocks. Harlan appeared. Bulldog face thunderous. Outside. Now. The alley behind the club reeked of dumpster and rain-soaked brick. Sodium lamps casting orange pools. Harlan lit his pipe. Puffing clouds that obscured his scowl. Explain. I did. Haltingly the affair. The sabotage suspicions. The photo. Alex interjected denials. Ryan silent. Dabbing his lip with a napkin. Harlan's eyes narrowed. This lab thrives on trust. Not testosterone. Ryan. You're on probation. One more stunt. You're out. Alex. Personal lives stay personal. Joseph. Cool off. No charges. But consider counseling. Probation. A slap. Not justice. As Harlan stomped inside, Ryan slunk off with a parting glare. Alex lingered. Rain starting to spit. I messed up. Badly. But I meant what I said. Choose you. His hand hovered. Pleading. Rain slicked his hair. Vulnerability cracking his facade. Part of me yearned to bridge the gap. To salvage the wreckage. But the photo's ghost loomed. Prove it. I said. Turning away. Actions. Not words. The T-ride home was a blur. Rain lashing windows. My reflection fractured in the glass-bruised knuckles. Hollow eyes. Theo's light was on when I arrived. Door ajar like he sensed storms. Holy shit. Your hand. He iced it. Listening as I unloaded the brawl. The photo. Harlan's decree. Proud of you for swinging. He said. Grinning. But now? Cut ties. Joe. Rebuild solo. Solo. The concept terrified and thrilled. A blank code canvas. That weekend. I holed up. Purging deleting Alex's texts. Archiving joint files with notes for handover. Sunday brought Micah's email. Loved our chat. Coffee. Brainstorm ethics paper. Innocent. Or interest. I agreed. Meeting at Tats in the square. Croissants flaking as we dove into hypotheticals, AI consent. Queer identities in tech. Micah was a whirlwind non-binary. They slashed them. With a tattoo of binary code twisting into a rainbow on their wrist. You're intense. Joseph. They said. Eyes sparkling over latte foam. In a good way. Alex talks you up like a legend. Legend. Bitter laugh escaped. I shared snippets. Not the gore. And they nodded. Fear sympathy. Betrayal sucks. But it sharpens you. Like debugging, find the bug. Fix the core. Their words lingered. A lifeline. Monday lab was Arctic Ryan absent on leave. Alex subdued. Handing off tasks with clipped efficiency. Harlan monitored. His presence a damper. I poured into the bridge. Iterating alone. Efficacy climbing to 95%. Colleagues noticed. Whispers of hails on fire, a quiet vindication. Midweek. A package arrived anonymous. Brown paper wrapped. Inside, a USB drive and note in Alex's scrawl. All my contributions. Yours now. And this listen. The drive held audio files, recordings of arguments with Ryan. Alex's voice raw. I can't keep hurting him. It's you or us. Us. Meant me. Not them. Tears pricked as the final track played, a voicemail to Ryan. Breakup firm. Over. For good. Vulnerability surged. I texted, heard it. Meet. His reply instant. Park by the river. Dusk. Benches slick from drizzle. Willows drooping like weary sentinels. He arrived breathless. Coat damp. I ended it. Mailed the drive before cowardice hit. Proof in his icer dreamed. Earnest. We sat. Silence heavy. River lapping. Why now? I asked. He exhaled. Steam in cold air. Losing you. The fight. It woke me. You're not just a colleague. Joseph. You're home. Home. The word undid me. Walls crumbling. I leaned in. Our kiss tentative. Then deepening no taint. Only truth. Hands clasped. We walked the path. Stars pricking the clearing sky. But doubt nagged. A subroutine looping. Ryan's probation ended Friday. He returned Monday. Bruise faded. Attitude intact. In seminar, he presented an ethics addendum brilliant. Unignorable learning applause. Alex clapped politely, but his hand found mine under the table. Squeeze affirming. Ryan's eyes met mine across the room. Nod grudging truce. That night, Alex cooked at my Placester fry. His knife work still mesmerizing. Over plates. We mapped futures, co-authoring post-grant. Maybe a joint TEDx. Laughter flowed. Easy. His foot hooking mine under table. Bed followed. Slow exploration. Bodies learning anew without shadows. Afterward. Tangled in sheets. He traced my knuckles' fading bruise. Warrior. He murmured. I smiled. Believing. For the first time. Yet glitches persisted. A late-night lab session. Alex stepping out for a call, voice low. Urgent. I didn't eavesdrop. Trust fragile but building. Micah invited me to a queer tech mixer at a Back Bay loft. Networking with a side of drag. I went. Alex encouraging. The space pulsed queer coders in glitter. Discussions fierce on inclusive AI. Micah introduced me. Their arm light on my back. And I felt seen. Not as Alex's shadow. Home late. Alex waited. Concern soft. Fun. I nodded. Recounting highlights. No jealousy. Only pride. But as weeks blurred. Harmony frayed at edges as late hours consulting. My suspicions dormant but stirring. Harlan announced grand extension. Celebration dinner looming. Ryan cornered me pre-meal. Heard you two are official. Congrats. Don't say I didn't warn you, climbers slip. Warn. The word burrowed. Dinner was lavish. Faculty club again. Toasts to innovation. Alex shone. Speech eloquent. Hand on my knee under tablecloth. But as dessert cleared, my phone vibrated anonymous email. Attachment, video. Heart sinking. I slipped to the restroom. Hitting play. Grainy footage, Alex and Ryan. Hotel room. Timestamp last week. Moans. Embraces undeniable. Nausea hit. World spinning. Back at table. I forced smiles. Excusing early. Cab ride blurred tears. Apartment door slamming like gunshot. Theo called. Sensing. Come over. But I couldn't, curled on floor. Sobs racking. Betrayal's abyss swallowing whole. Climber indeed slipped right back. Dawn brought numbness. Code my anesthesia. Lab that day, I handed in resignation draft. Harlan's office a blur. Think it over, he urged. Alex texted frantic. Where are you? Ignored. Ryan's smirk in hall. Ignored. Micah's coffee invite. Accepted. Escape. At the cafe. They saw through facade. Spill. I did. Videos poison spilling. Micah's hug fierce. You're free now? Build from ashes. Free. The word ignited resignation shredded. Project mine to lead. That afternoon, I confronted Alex in lab. Door locked. Video. Explain. His denial crumbled under evidence. Face ashen. It was once. Weak moment. I swear, swears mean nothing. I cut. Goodbye? Alex. Walking out. Shoulders squared. I felt weight lift not light, but unburdened. Winter gripped Boston. Snow blanketing the quad in hush. Muffling the chaos in my head as I navigated post-betrayal life. The lab hummed on without Alex's shadow taking a leave. Personal reasons. Harlan muttered. I sympathetic. Ryan prowled edges. Contributions minimal. His barbs dulled by probation's leash. I led now. Diving into refinements. Efficacy hitting 97%. Underclassmen orbiting my station like eager electrons. Micah became anchor coffees evolving to dinners. There would a spark against my gloom. Non-binary and unapologetic. They challenged my code. My assumptions. Peeling layers I'd armored post-Alex. You're not broken. Joseph. They'd say over foe in Chinatown. Steam curling like secrets. You're evolving. Evolving. The term fit. My work surging, a submodule for queer-inclusive neural mapping. Adapting for diverse identities in therapy apps. Harlan beamed at prelims. Hail. This is gold. Holiday break loomed. A chasm back to Ohio family dinners with veiled questions about that city life. Mom's worried glances at my single status. I stayed. Volunteering at a queer youth center in JP. Teaching basic coding to kids who'd found safe harbors in binary worlds. One boy, 15 and shy, mirrored my younger self. Is it hard? Being you. In tech. I shared fragments, not the heartbreaks, but triumphs. His grin. Worth every scar. New Year dawned crisp. Theo hosting a rager in Somerville. Queer friends. Allies. Bass thumping through walls. I danced. Loose for first time in months. Micah's hand in mine. Their laughter infectious. No pressure. Just presence kisses light. Exploratory. Tasting of possibility without possession. Slow. They whispered post-midnight. Foreheads touching. We've got time. Time. Luxury I'd squandered before. Spring thawed the Charles. Cherry blossoms rioting pink along banks. Project presentation loomed conference in NYC. My solo debut. Nerves jangled. But Micah prepped me. Mock Q&A over beers at the Bun. Own it. They urged. Alex resurfaced via email. Heard about the talk. Proud. Can we talk? Deleted. Unread. Ryan's shadow faded. He'd transferred tracks. Whispers of his own fallout with Harlan. Conference week, Manhattan buzzed. Javits sent her a hive of booths and badges. My slot neural bridge ethics. Queer lens drew crowd. Questions flying. How does identity factor in consent protocols? One asked. I answered fluidly. Slides seamless. Applause thundering. Post-talk. A publisher approached. Book deal tease. Hi. I called Micah. Nailed it. Their whoop echoed. Knew you would. Celebrate when home. Homebound train. Euphoria crested then dipped. At South Station. Alex waited. Flowers wilting in his grip. Eyes haunted. Please. 5 minutes. Crowd swirled. Indifferent. I nodded. To a bench. What? He thrust the bouquet lilies. My favorite. Therapy. I've been going. Realizing. I was scared. Of us. Of depth. Ryan was safe shallow. Shallow. APT. I took the flowers. Thorns pricking. And now. He swallowed. I want depth. With you. If possible. Temptation tugged memories of his laugh. His mind meshing mine. But Micah's voice, slow. Maybe friends. Eventually. His nod grateful. No push. We parted. Him to cab. Me to tea. Petals shedding like old skin. Summer baked the city. Lab aircon straining against heat waves. Micah and I deepened picnics in the common. Coding marathons in their Alston studio. Bodies sinking slow. Tender. Their touch healed. Affirming without claiming. Whispers of you in dawn light. No pedestals. Just equals. Project wrapped. Grant secured me name lead author. Ethics module hailed innovative. Fall semester kicked. New cohort wide-eyed. I'm entered now. Alex a ghost in halls. Cordial nods our truce. Ryan vanished. Rumor of Silicon Valley poach. One crisp evening. Post-lab. Micah and I strolled Esplanade. River glittering under moon. Love you. They said casual. Like code compiling true. Heart swelled. Love you too. Yet closure called. I invited Alex for coffee neutral ground. Diesel and Davis. He arrived leaner. Eyes clearer. Heard about the book. Deserved. We talk shop. Laughs tentative. Then real. I hurt you. He admitted. Irreparably. No. I said honest. You taught me boundaries. Hugs goodbye. Final. Winter solstice party at the Lab Harlan's tradition. Eggnog spiked. Carols off-key. Micah mingled. Charm winning profs. I toasted team. Glass raised to ghosts banished. As snow fell soft outside. Alex approached. Solo. Happy? He asked. Yeah. I replied. Micah's hand slipping into mine. You. His smile genuine. Getting there. Outside. Under street lamps haloed in flurry. Micah and I kissed snowflakes melting on lashes. World sharp and new. Betrayal's dark lab birthed this, strength. Love untainted. Steps synced. We walked into night. Futures unwritten. But ours. The book deal solidified. Deadlines looming like friendly deadlines. My apartment now a warren of notes and laptops. Micah moved in part-time. Their plants reviving mine. Chaos organized. We co-wrote a chapter on queer AI. Their insights weaving with mine. Submission earning editor rave. You two are magic. Theo teased at our housewarming potluck in Somerville. Friends toasting to Hale's harem with eye rolls. But past rippled. Spring brought conference invite DC. The site of original sin. Harlan pushed, represent. Micah tagged along. Our hotel room a sanctuary of room service and room views. Panels buzzed. My talk on neural ethics drawing standing ovation. Questions probing deep. Post-session. Ryan appeared suited. Valley polish gleaming. Joseph. Impressive. No smirk. Just respect. Faint bruise of ego. We chatted neutral as startup. My book. Alex. I asked. Clean break. He's good. Though consulting freelance. Nod. Truce sealed. That night. Micah and I danced at after-party. Bodies close. Their whisper. Proud. DC's ghosts exorcised. We flew home lighter. Summer internship wave hit. I supervised. One kid 17. Trans. Brilliant with algorithms reminding me of Micah's fire. Thanks for seeing me. They said end of term. Echoed my youth. Validation bomb. Alex crossed paths at alumni event dinner, but smiling. With a new partner. Quiet artist type. Good for you. I said true. His hug brotherly same. Fall leaves turned. Book launch Loon Boston Public Library. Crowd swelling with lab mates. Family flown in. Mom teared up. Dad clapped awkward proud. Micah's speech opened. Joseph's story isn't just Tetchett's heart. Q&A flowed. Signings endless. After. Rooftop bar. Stars winking approval. Winter deepened bonds. Micah proposed collab startup queer-focused neurotech. Seed funding Harlan brokered. Partners. They said. Ring simple on finger commitment. Not cage. Wedding small. Spring equinox. Riverside Theo best man. Vows coding metaphors. Debugging life together. Years blurred. Startup thrived. Book bestseller. TED Talk viral. Alex faded to holiday cards. Ryan to LinkedIn likes. Betrayals lab. Now conference legend. My origin tale. In quiet moments. Micah's head on my shoulder. I whispered thanks to scars that scarred strong. Post-launch glow faded into grind book tour bites. Startup pivots. Micah's cancer diagnosis hit like system crash stage 2. Lymphoma. Treatable but terrifying. Hospital vigils. Their hand in mine. Jokes cracking, beating this like a bug. Chemo cycles. My world narrowing to scans and soups. Alex heard. Sent care package books. Tease. Note. Strength. Friend. Unexpected grace. Ryan emailed. Heard. Valley has trials let me connect. Bridge extended. I accepted both. Humanity, trumping grudge. Remission came summer. Micah's hair sprouting defiant curls. Reboot. They declared. Our hike in Blue Hills healing sweat and stories. Futures reclaimed. Startup boomed. First product, app for queer mental health. Neural guided meditations. Launch party. Toasts to resilience.